There we go. The happy little recording in progress. It's like you've got mail. So, uh,
Yeah.
terrific. Great. So we'll just wait a sec. Say hi, everybody. Everybody here has been, well, Pat, you haven't been to the Q&A this week, have you? I don't think so. I think he might have whoever walked away. But Shake is going to speak with us for a second, and you all know me and what I do. And Shake took my course, so she has now made it her own and taken it and parlayed it into a nice career in only 2 years, right? It's like 2 years or something, maybe a little more. So that's beyond exciting. She is definitely my star. I have other students who are doing amazing things too. But Shake is just killing it, and she's such an amazing speaker as well, and so good at discussing what she does for the work, how she gets her syncs. She even got a big cut by Frida Payne, a major label artist, and how she goes about her day to day to make this all happen. Because I am so proud of you, girl. You are amazing. Amazing. So, that said, just the people that are here, just quickly, even though you've introduced yourself to me, introduce yourself to Shake so she knows who you are, each one of you. So start with Carrie. Tell Shake who you are and what you do.
Hi, my name is Kerry Kennard. I'm a drummer percussionist still, and I'm looking into sync music some. And
Terrific.
I
Go
just
on.
finished I just finished recording for someone, so that's why I'm recorded some drums for someone. So I do that. That's my wheelhouse.
That's terrific. It's great. And where are you, Carrie? Tell Shake where
Oh
you.
yes, I'm Dayton, Ohio, just above Cincinnati.
Great. Shake is here in Los Angeles. So, yes. And Tony, come tell us hi.
Hi, my name's Tony. I'm here in LA, MacArthur Park area. Um, been here since the 80s. Um, I originally came to LA as a singer, actor, dancer way back then. Had some medical issues and then landed a regular day job. Just recently, 2020, got laid off from the job, decided to focus mainly on going back to music. And so I'm re-educating myself in all these aspects, including, the sync world and what it involves and takes to get on that path and funnel all my experience into, trying to do something like this. So that's
Great. It's excellent. That's why we're here. And Dennis, tell Shake who you are and where you live.
Hi, Shake. Very nice to meet you. My name is Dennis Jackson. I am a singer, songwriter based just out of Chicago, primarily gospel with a pop R&B flavor to it, looking to get into sync. And so I'm trying to pick up as many creative vibes as possible from you and Michelle.
Right on, right on. And John, hi, I'm so glad you're here again today. John is in my course. He's my new student. So, and you have a camera. I'm so proud of you. You are already rocking it. So, John, tell Shake where you live and what you do and all of that.
Uh, Hi, this is John. I am glad to be on. I've met Shake. I know
I
Shake.
know you, John.
Right
The
on.
facial hair. That's right. I told you about this. I'm so glad you're here.
No, I appreciate it. I got the emails and the timing is right on today. I was working this morning, so just good to be connected here. I came out to California 2017, writing, recording with David and Jeff in Atwater Village. And I'm shifting to comedy. I have a quiet side of me wants to go towards musical comedy, but I don't want to give up on music as a whole. So thank you.
I am totally you've made my day that you're here. It's totally stoked.
I appreciate it.
All right. Yay.
All right. Excellent. That's so funny. The world is so small.
Well,
So,
yeah, because it was what, a couple years ago when we met and I told you about the class, but you're here. So I'm like I said, I'm just so glad you're here.
I appreciate that, Shake. Yeah. and
That
everybody.
that oh wait, so this is a different John. I'm sorry, John. No, the John who's taking my course just arrived. Yes. So what's your last name, John? That
Gaughan, Gaughan.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Great.
good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got
I'll put
multiple
it on.
Johns. All right.
Fantastic. Okay, next let's go to John, who is taking my class. John Ravit, say hi to Shake and tell her who you are and where you live. And half your face is cut off. John, I can't see the hat. There we go. Perfect. Oh, and you're muted, so unmute.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Yay.
Oh, yay, it's making noise. Hi, my name's John Rivette. I'm in between Big Bear and Los Angeles, and I'm looking forward to taking Michelle's class because well, I've got quite a few songs, and I'm trying to get the other part of the my knowledge, down increased. And I guess that's it. I don't know what else to say. I'm pretty boring.
No, you're not. You're great. And you make really nice music. Yes. Okay. So then let's go to our dear Jerry B. And Jerry B is an amazing producer and musician and also has a podcast. So I realized you didn't mention that the other day. So tell us about that too. Yeah. And where you're from. And you're muted, I think, Jerry. Still can't hear you. So much for the podcast. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go to Sherry and then we'll come back to you, okay? To you, Jerry. So Sherry, come say hi and tell Shake about you and where you are.
Hello, my name is Sherielle. I'm from New York. I know Michelle through Writing Sessions America. I'm a singer, songwriter, and I produce. And I don't focus on any one particular genre, but I do use my music, and I come from a background of music therapy as a vehicle for healing through storytelling and community building and coaching.
Amazing. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. And Jerry B, can you come on now? Oh, wait, he's re-entering. So we will go to my dear friend Laura. Laura, I'm so glad you could make it. And do tell us, and actually tell Shake, because I know where you live and what you do.
I'm in action.
Oh, you're breaking up. Do you want to type it in
Hear
the
me?
chat? You're breaking up a bit. Do you want to type it in the chat? Maybe you're out and about.
Yeah.
You can just type in the chat to Shake and everybody. Yeah, we can't hear you. It's completely broken up. We can't hear you at all, Laura. So just type in the chat. And Jerry, Jerry, are you here now?
I think so. Am I here?
Yes, you
Okay.
are. Okay, right on.
Yeah, I've noticed that with the new Zoom workplace, there are some audio issues that continue to happen. So I'm troubleshooting with them. But I'm Jerry B. I do have a podcast called The Entre Musician, which is also a community of entrepreneurial musicians who are really over the age of 50 and trying to really have our stuff on point. And so we avail ourselves to opportunities like Michelle presents. I am what I call a schizophrenic producer. I don't know what genre I'm in from half the time. I'm a funk drummer trying to play jazz, right? But the one thing that I can say about my music is it enriches the soul, it engages the spirit, it encourages the person listening. and it empowers the heart. So that's what my music does. So
Right on. And we have two drummers in the house. So that's very, very cool. We have Carrie too. So excellent, excellent. So I love it. And Betsy, I'm really bad at monitoring the chat, but I'm going to try to, because since Shake is speaking, I'll be able to check and see what people are asking. But I think it would be better, right, Shake, if they just ask you questions live and raise their hand, right? So Shake is going to give us a happy presentation today of, again, I mentioned it right when we walked in, but there's people have come in since then, about how she has accomplished this amazing feat of starting with no songs to pitch, because she had songs. She's been a songwriter forever and a singer, but her co-writer encumbered the songs and wouldn't let her pitch them. So she had to start all over making new songs. She took my class. She learned how to do all this pitching and music licensing and everything. And then she made it her own. She learned how to made a system that works for her, which just tagging on to what I taught, which is really so wonderful, right? That we can use our common sense like she did and completely make something work for ourselves. We don't have to do exactly what I say and what she says and what everyone says, but we can arrange it so that it works in our lives. And Shake is getting so many placements on major TV networks with all kinds of things, and she's going to tell us all about it. And she has a presentation, and then I have some questions if she does, if you don't mention them, because you might cover it in your presentation. And other people, if you have questions as well, that will be fabulous. So Shake, you have the floor. I'm muting.
Okay. Well, there's an awful lot. And let me just first of all say to all of you who are here, accolades that you are here, because it's the same old thing. Can you handle the truth, right? Do you really want to know what's really going on? So if you really want to know what's really going on, you come to the perfect place. But it's hard to get out of your little bubble and say, okay, let me really get educated. So first of all, major kudos that you are here. You are in the perfect place for all of this to happen. I took Michelle's class, and at the time I was going to take Michelle's class, I had been an independent artist for many years, put out like 6 or so CDs. I was a person in the car doing 50 Borders books and music stores and stuff for years. And then when I kind of got out of that, I hooked up with this collaborator for 5 years. He, excuse my French, fucked me over. And then I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then COVID happened. Everything fell apart. And I had met Michelle through a mutual friend and then heard about her class. And I go, oh, I don't know. And then the price came up for the class. I go, I can't afford it. Then we got the COVID, what was it, $1,200 we all got? So I said, okay, God is giving you a sign, go do it. You only have to come up with a couple $100. So I did it. And it changed my life. None of this would have happened if I hadn't taken the class. I wish I had known all this 5, 10, 15 years ago, but I didn't. So we got to start now. So one of the things that you have to keep in mind when you start this journey is there's going to be a lot of throwing the spaghetti against the wall. When I first started, they told me, you're going to make 200 calls before you get one placement. Now with me, I've worked like a dog all my life in this business and never really, quote, gotten anything. So when they tell me, oh, 200 and you get something, I'm clapping like a seal. I'm going, you mean I could actually win? I could actually make something happen? Because here's the deal that you get when you go through the class and you learn about sync. It's like a library book. You have your lovely little song. They want to check it out. You go ahead and you check it out. You get your money. And then later on, you get your money on the back end. And then you go do it again. So this is a business model that I said, oh, I can live with this. And I don't care if I have to make 200 calls. But my odds have been better than that. But I'm just telling you, there's just two things I always remember. Number one, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You are going to have to put in time. You're going to have to put in effort. There's going to be times you say, this is totally stupid, but you just have to keep going. And the one thing that Michelle said that I remind myself is that only the yeses count. For all those times you send something out, nobody opened it. All those times you sent something out, they said no. There's still going to be that. There is going to be that thing, but you got to keep pushing through. So I can't emphasize that enough. So when I took the class, I said, okay, I see what she's saying. I see the optimal way to do this, but I can't do it the way she's doing it because she's state of the art, contemporary, pop, dance, all this stuff, consummate producer. I go, okay. So I'm not stylistically there. I don't have her chops, her access. I can't spend a lot of money on my tracks. So John, as I work with Dave. And so I said, but I said to myself, I can do retro Christmas songs until the cows come home. There's lots of Christmas movies. So I'm going to do that. And then when I started, because you are better off starting off with a lot of songs, but I said, well, you know what? I got 3 really good ones. So I did. I started off with 3 songs, but one of the songs, which is still one of my best songs, is called Fall in Love This Christmas. So I'm sitting there going, I know that's a ringer. I know this is going to work. So I'm just going to go out there and do that. So when I looked at my strengths and weaknesses, I said, okay, like I said, I can't be Michelle. I can't do it that way, but there's nobody better on the phone than me. And I know these days I'm old school, right? Most people don't want to use the phone. They're not going to use the phone. But, I talk to people sometimes at conferences and there were these guys about a year ago and they were like, we've got 2,000 email addresses for music supervisors and we're setting up this, we're doing this, we're doing that. I said, oh, how long have you been doing that? Oh, we've been doing it a year and a half. I go, how many placements have you got? 0. I said, they're going, okay, well, nobody's going to know me from Jack, from anybody. The only way I feel that I'm going to be able to get through is to make an impression in the way that I know that I can. So that was my thing is I go, okay, I'm getting on the phone. That's what I do well. I'm going to make all these friends. And then some of them are going to give me placements. And that's just the way I looked at it. I said, that's how I'm going to do it. And it's been really, really hard, but I've developed relationships. It's all going forward. And because the biggest hassle you have, the biggest challenge you have is being heard, right? Like some of these music supervisors, some of these people, they're getting hundreds of emails a day. Why should they listen to yours? Why should they pay attention to you? So one of the valuable things you're going to learn in the class from Michelle for cold emails and stuff is how to draft that email so that you look professional, you stand out from everybody else. Now, like I said, me being me, one of the things that I had gotten from my old collaborator was he said, always remember, if the producer and the director like your song, they want your song, that's it. Whatever music supervisor, whoever they bring in, that's one less gatekeeper if they like you. So that's what I've really concentrated on is going to productions, trying to get in there any way that I can. Because you got to remember, this whole thing is like this big old castle with a moat and stones and crocodiles. And it's like, it looks like nobody's going to let you in. Nobody's going to let me in. Nobody wants to let me in. So what you got to do is you got to find the little loose stone in the corner and kind of slither your way in. So every time I get a placement, every time I do it, it's always been a different way. Sometimes it's the composer that says, I love your stuff, I'm going to put it in. Sometimes it's a director. Sometimes it's a producer. Sometimes there's an editor that could like you and put you in the temp track. So there's all these different ways that things can happen, but you have to put it out there. And when you make that call or that email, you have to be sure that you've got your ducks in a row because the research is what's going to make or break you. Like when I first started off, I was like, okay, anything that's in post that's a Christmas movie, I'm gonna get in touch with them. But what I wasn't looking at was the fact that they don't always update things. So sometimes something could say it's been in post, but it's been a year. So sometimes I contract somebody and they go, well, we did that a year ago, right? I'm like, oh God, I look so stupid. I look so dumb. But that's when I learned that it's really important to be very, very sure of your information and to cross-reference everything. So there's a couple of things that I use religiously. One is IMDb Pro, and the other one is the Production Weekly. Those 2 things I swear by. But besides them, I also cross-reference in just Deadline or Variety, or sometimes you just type in there the movie Christmas Spirit. What's going on with the movie Christmas Spirit? And all of a sudden, it'll pop up on the internet. Oh, we're just finishing filming Christmas Spirit, or this is happening, or that's happening. So it's this process to find out as much as you can about the production so that you get in there on the optimal time possible. Now, well, the Christmas movies, a lot of times they happen really fast. So if something says it was in Canada and it was in post, it could be done in a couple weeks, or it could be, you just don't know. So square peg, square hole is the rule of the day. When I go in, I'm always going in blind. All I know is this is a Christmas movie. It's a rom-com, a romantic comedy. I don't know if the director's sister is doing the songs, if they aren't going to do any original songs, if they're just going to do public domain. So you always have to go in there positive, open slate. My goal is to be heard. Did they hear the songs? Did I get through? That's always got to be my victory. So, like I said, getting in however I can, aligning myself with people. Like sometimes you call somebody and making friends with assistants is a brilliant thing to do. Like there's a guy named Joel S. Rice, and he does maybe one or two major Christmas movies every year or other year. So his assistant loves me. His assistant always makes sure that whatever Christmas movies he has, the current director or producer, they hear my songs. Now it's been a couple years and I haven't gotten anything, but that assistant, he tells me, I respect the hustle. This is another thing that you can't underestimate is you think, oh, I don't want to bother somebody. Oh, I don't want this. Oh, I don't want that. When people hear that you are really professional, done your homework, there to help them, they respect what you're doing and how you're doing it. So that's the thing. And I have so many people that, okay, so here's another example. There's a music supervisor now named Andrea Von Forster, and she and I became buddies on the phone, but I've never had anything really for her. I've passed on something from somebody else, but we're friends. And if I need a piece of information sometimes, she is the one that gives it to me. But I have not actually pitched her a song of mine ever. It's always, like I said, square peg, square hole. Gee, I don't have it. Like recently, there was a guy that I met at an event, and he works for this Korean company. They do a lot of kids stuff. He liked me. I liked him. A couple months later, he checked out my songs, and then he said, I really need something that's more pop. And I said, you know what? That's not going to be me, but I know somebody who's brilliant at that. Michelle Weiss-Maslin. So I put them in touch together. Let's see if they work together or not. But he's like, I respect you because you're honest with me and you're here to be a problem solver. And that's the thing. You want them to see you as a problem solver, as somebody who's an asset. You don't want to have them see you as somebody who's a pest. And that goes anywhere from one of my directors up in Canada, who's probably my best customer, most consistent customer. A year or so ago, she was in a spot because her composer that she hired in Canada did a crap job on this movie. I mean, it was terrible. And she goes, I don't know what I'm going to do, blah, 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 blah. And I said, hey, I know a ton of composers. Within an hour, I had her hooked up with the guy who did the gig, did a beautiful job. And so, like I said, she's like, Shake, I got a Halloween rom-com coming up. I got more Christmas stuff. You are there. So, like I said, I will get heard. I will get my stuff considered. That's the thing. It's just like, I am the good, happy, happy, joy, joy. If I've got the right fit for you, fantastic. And if I don't, that's okay. What can I do to help you? What can I do to make your day better? So everybody's got a number, and I take copious notes. I mean, I have notes on there about if you told me about your grandchild's fifth birthday and that there were purple balloons, I'm going to have that in my notes. So when I call you, maybe 6 months or a year later, it's like, oh, now she's 6. What color balloons did they have this year, right? It's a whole thing about, I look at this thing as like every day I go out and I make my calls. I'm here to make friends. I'm here to make friends. I'm here to get the information. The main thing is to get that person talking, and then you shut up and then you just start taking your notes. And it can take a long time, right? Like one of the first placements that I got was a movie called Christmas Slasher. And she is still working on the post now. And that's like 3 years down the line. And I also got another person from our class in because she had this really bizarre little Christmas song called Strange Christmas. I said, the director, Destiny, she'll love this. Sure enough, she loved it. It got in the movie. There again, Sake, problem solver. Got a couple of my songs, but you needed something else? Okay, let me do this. I can help you out with that. And like I said, a lot of it going to take a long time. Like one of the stories that Michelle will tell you is, what was it, 35 years? It took her to get a response from this guy to take one of her songs. But always professional, always nice, do your homework, see what's going on. Now, there's some pitfalls that I had not anticipated and some mistakes that I have definitely made, but some of it I didn't see coming, right? It's like last year, I got this one composer, loved me. He said, look, I get all these Christmas movies, they're Lifetime. Will you let me license your songs and then just back in? And I said, Lifetime, sure, because that's going to be decent money. So I'll give you just an example. So my first placement was with Lifetime in a movie, opening credits, very proud of it. And so when my BMI statement came, $87, okay. 2 years later, same movie, streaming, 87 cents. So all the movies that he put my songs in, and I mean, there's movies out there, they've got 6 of my songs in them, all my songs in them. The back end was really bad. I couldn't have seen that coming, right? But okay, we just keep going forward. Meanwhile, I'm building my IMDb page, building my reputation, and some of these songs have ended up in the Holiday Music Film and Film and Music Awards that I'm going to in December. None of this would have happened if I hadn't taken the class. So my first year, I got 2 placements, and then my second year, I got 25. My third year, I got 30. This year, I'm down to probably 10 or so. But the reason why some of those were so many was because there were films that were taking multiple songs of mine. So that wasn't like 25 separate movies. That was just like 5 in this one, 6 in this one, that kind of thing. So as far as my process goes, the first thing is to find the projects, find the opportunity, and track that down. Making that first phone call, finding out what's going on the details, and also there's so many tools out there like social media, right? Like let's say there's a director, somebody that you like. You get on their social media thing, all of a sudden you start seeing, oh, I'm working on this movie. Oh, I'm working on this movie. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Okay, cool. And the other thing is to make in-person appearances for things like the Production Music Conference or AFM, which is the American film market, because you meet people and then you get to know those people. They get to know you. When I went to AFM, I made appointments. I went in to see all these people. And now those contacts that I made in person, I'm still in touch with them on social media and everything. And so I know what projects they have coming up. And I know which songs I want to pitch for it. And I know what's happening because I'm staying in touch with them and their assistants to see when things are happening. So a lot of this, like I said, is just keep moving, keep going forward. And somebody asked me, which was a great question. They said, how do you close the deal? And I said, you don't close the deal. Because like I said, I'm always blind. I don't see the scene. I don't see what they're doing. It's the song matching up with the scene that closes the deal. Your job is to get heard. Your job is to get in there. And then, like I said, even if you don't get that movie or that thing, you stay in touch. That's a new contact. That's building onto your network. So you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to either hear no, people say no, or to me, the one that really does make me crazy is when somebody says, oh, send me this, oh, send me that. They never open it, right? So I'm going to give you two scenarios now. One is a movie I didn't get, and the other one is a movie I did get. And I'm actually putting the sync license together with that Michelle is helping me on. So another pitch for Michelle, the class, etc. First of all, nobody knows as much about this stuff as she does. You can take the other sync classes and that's fine, but you're going to always find that she's the one that has all the really right answers. And when you're done with her class, you need help with the contract, you need this, you need that, she's an email away. She's helping me right now negotiate a thing in South Africa, and she's helping me put together the sync license for this movie that I did get. So I've got so many notes on this one. So this is one I did not get. I started doing my research and everything in October of 2022. And just recently, a few months ago, had to say, Uncle, I'm not going to get it. So I'm just going to show you this just to show you how hard sometimes you work on something that you don't get. And even then, I'm going to fast forward. So the project, which I see now, if you look at Netflix, Meet Me Next Christmas is coming on. And Meet Me Next Christmas is a Mark Roberts project producer. He's really nice. I've talked to him. He's a doll. But he pointed out to me early on, I'm not going to make the decision on this. This decision is going to be made by the Pentatonics people. So, do your best to get through to them, but I'm not going to be the one. So I said, okay, that's fine. So I couldn't get through to Pentatonics, emailed them a million times, whatever. Nobody ever responds to me. Who the heck am I? So I got to their vocal arranger, a guy named Ben Bram. Super nice. There again, passed things on for me. Nothing open, nothing open, nothing open. Now we're into 2023. And it turns out that they do have a music supervisor now, and the music supervisor is going to be Joel C. High, who is one of the major music supervisors in this town. And Sammy Posner, who was working with him at the time, was the secondary one. So I got in touch with them. Thank you so much. Sent. Got a few nice emails back, but nothing ever got opened at all. So fast forward farther down the line, and now we're into 2024. Joel's no longer on it. It's all Sammy. So I did my best to stay in touch with her. And then finally in, because she has her own project now, but finally in May of this year, she was like, okay, we're co-supervising this. And then, like I said, then she's gone. So it's just her. It's not Joel anymore, just her. She has her own company. So I kept trying. And then I saw through some broadcast things that they were going to wrap production on this in May of 2023, right? So this is how long I've been going on this thing. And I kept checking back in with her. And she said, thank you very much. The project is completed. There I am. So, in fact, I have a list for updates and I say, meet me next Christmas. I said, did not get, amazing effort, right? But, people, they know I'm in there. They know I'm pitching. And it's not my fault that my songs didn't get heard. I did my best. Now that's kind of a heartbreaker, right? But that's okay. So now let's forward on to something that did work. Because like I said, the main thing that you have to always look at is that you are in there pitching away, that you're in there giving it the good college try, and you're doing the best that you can. And I can count on the fingers of one hand the number of times people told me, oh, leave me alone, or you're a pest, or whatever. Most of the time, people respect the hustle. They've got too much going on. You just have to be the nicest person in the world, and that's what you do. So there's a movie called A Heart for Christmas. Now, I got this movie. They're going to use 4 of my songs in the trailer, 2 of my songs in the movie itself. It's going to have a premiere November 6th at a theater here in Los Angeles. So I started off with this project in April of this year. And I saw that, I go, okay, they're filming as of March 30th, and let me see what I can do. And I made numerous calls to people who were producers. And I thought I called the director. It turns out I really did call the director, but he kind of shined me on. And so I went, okay. So I kept trying through the composer and different people. I couldn't get through. I couldn't get this. I couldn't get that. I said, you know what? I have a feeling about this one. I'm not going to give up. So another thing that you can do, and I don't do it all the time, but I will do it some of the time, is you can go through their quote manager or the casting director or somebody like that that's tied in. And so I called this lady, and her name was Eileen, nicest lady in the world, his manager, very sweet. And I said, hi, Eileen, this is Shake Herbekian. I license my songs for film and television. I think I've got some great ones for A Heart for Christmas, but I can't seem to get through to Maurice. Can you just help me out as a professional courtesy and just forward a message on to him? And I'll put the link in there with the songs, and I would appreciate it. And she said, of course, I'll do that for you. And whenever anybody does that for me, they get a hard copy thank you card from me. I'm really big on thank you cards. If I get a placement or an assistant does a favor for me, that's what I do. So I could see when I sent it to Eileen that she opened the disco, she listened to the songs, obviously liked what she heard. She forwarded it on to Maurice, and that's when he listened. That's when he said, oh, I love these. I think I can use them. And that's when we started moving forward at all. But he even said to me, he goes, how did you figure out to contact me that way? And I said, look, I just went ahead and did what I thought I could do. Like I said, getting in that little brick, that little way in, that little thing that got me to him directly. So he's little slow off the get-go as far as getting me the paperwork and stuff. But he said today, he says, look, I'll pay you. And he at first what he wanted is he sent me a contract that he wanted publishing and these other things. And I said, no, this is the way we do this. And this is what I learned in the class. I said, well, I'm going to grant you a non-exclusive license in perpetuity. And you can use the master recording and the song itself for what we negotiate as a price, but no publishing. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that, you know. So he agreed, but then he never got the paperwork together. So now today it was like, look, I want to pay you, but can you send me your regular sync agreement? So this is a sync agreement that you will get in the class Michelle gave to you, but most of the time everybody's got their own agreements. So I was just like, okay. So now I said, which one is the one to use? And she told me, and I'm going to get it all scoped out. She'll okay it for me and I'll send it to him. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. And I'm excited, and I'll go to the premiere on November 6th. And so I've just been running off at the mouth here with a lot of things. And where I am right now is I would not be anywhere if I had not taken the class. None of this would have happened. So, I mean, I'm still in the trenches. I'm still slugging it out, but I'm learning. I'm getting more and more contacts. So I'm just going to give you one or two more examples of what I consider to be wins, and then I'm going to shut up for questions. So there's a company out of the UK called M&M Films. They took 4 of my songs for one of their Christmas movies, and then she and I had a Zoom. We were on the Zoom for 4 hours from the UK. We loved each other. And she says, I have a period piece drama. I need something sad, dramatic, lost love, etc. She says, I think you should sing it. I said, well, I'm glad to do that. So then it's always gold when they can send you the script and you can really do your research. So that's it, research. So I reread the original. It's called Frankenstein Legacy. I reread the original Frankenstein. She sent me the script, beautiful script. I said, I know this character. This character is so in love with her husband, she will do anything, including digging up dead people and cutting up parts and reassembling, right? But in the end, everybody dies. So I really had the character. I really had the song. The key line in the song is actually, if love can conquer all, where's my victory? So like I said, sadness, death, this is my wheelhouse. I can do this. So I wrote the song. And when I went in to record it with David, I ran through it and I said, okay, let's do it. And he goes, no, I go, what do you mean no? He goes, that was the take. I go, come on. Sure enough, one take. Now, when you listen to that, and I ended up getting a violinist and stuff on it, when you listen to that, according to a lot, certain people's ears, that vocal, it sounds rough. It's not auto-tuned. It's not pristine. But that vocal with that emotion against that violin and that whole thing totally nailed what needed to happen. And so I got that gig. Now we've got another thing coming up, another Christmas movie. I'm going to get a song in that. So we just continue the relationship. Now let's see, one other really good one. That's probably one of the best ones. So let me just stop on that and let you guys ask questions. And I hope this was helpful.
That was amazing, Shake, and you are amazing. You are just amazing. And I have some questions, and there are some questions. So just one sec.
And
Let's
what's helpful, you guys? That's what I care about. If it's helpful.
Yeah, so I'm going to backtrack with the question. So the first question was, Sherry's asking, can we hear the song? So Shake, if you want to put the link to the song in the chat, I'll play it if you want.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Let
And
me
I
go.
am definitely the one who said to Shake, oh my God, Shake, you need to tune this and you need to fix this vocal.
Well,
There you go. They loved it. So
wait.
that shows us that, it's what touches people. And sometimes something works. But it's rare.
So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Vimeo link for so they did a trailer with the song. So that's what
Okay,
that's what
perfect.
I'm going to post. Come on. Come
Perfect.
on. I'm just
And this is for a song, remember, that she made for this movie.
right.
So if she were pitching the song and it were so rough, I think she would have had a lot more trouble. But because she actually wrote it for the request for the movie, they fell in love with what they first heard. And that's powerful.
Well, and the other thing is too, oh, come on. Why won't it go in? Oh, there we go. Shake
While
songs.
you're doing that, it also asks is which theater will host the premiere?
Okay, the theater that's hosting the premiere, that I can look on here. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. It's going to be Wednesday, November 6th, the Landmark Westwood,
Okay, I'm putting
Robson
that in
Avenue.
Wednesday, November 6th, Landmark Westwood screening, and the name of the movie?
A Heart for Christmas.
A Heart for Christmas. Thank you.
All right, here we go. Where are we? Come on, load more. All right, there we go. There's that. All right, for your love. We want to share.
Yeah, now let me see if I can share a video. I'm not sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make you the host and you try to share the video.
Oh,
That
okay.
might work better. So let me just one sec. Okay, I've made you the host. And if you go down at the bottom to the share,
Okay,
hopefully
hold on. Stop,
able,
stop, 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 stop. Okay, go down to the bottom where it says share screen.
right. Let's see if
Okay,
you can share the video.
share. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it says so where it says Safari Shake songs, I click on that.
Yes, and let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yes, we can see it.
All right.
But it's garbled.
I don't think
Okay,
she's sharing
Shake, go
sound.
go back to your share and it says on top advanced. Click on
Hold,
advanced
hold
where
on.
it says,
Everything's messed up. All
okay,
right.
so go back to the share and on the top
Stop
you
share.
see advanced. Do you see advanced?
Advanced. Okay. Advanced.
It should say share sound or share computer audio.
Computer audio. Okay.
Let's try that.
Okay. It says Zoom to share computer audio. Please install the Zoom audio advice.
Oh no, you have
Put
to
your password. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm not going to give up on this. Let me try.
It's okay. Put the link in the chat and I can try from this end.
All right. Share. Let's see if this works.
Okay. Okay. Now, Shake, you have to go to your name in the participants panel and make me the host again. Click on more next to your name. You
Stop.
have okay. Do you see where it says more?
No,
Um,
what do we
something.
do?
John, I had Dennis. I have to mute you guys. So Shake, do you see in the participants, go down to the bottom where it says
Participants, right.
click on participants.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and now next to your name, it should say more.
Okay. Next to my name, it should say more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and it says make host or make me the host or undo.
It says pin spotlight for everyone, rename.
Okay, then go next to my name and see if it will make me the host
Okay.
where it says more.
It says direct message.
It should say make host. So in the participants, you see my name.
Uh-huh. And I said
the
and I click
microphone
more.
and next
Okay,
to
here we go. Make host. There we go.
yes. Yes. Okay, I am the host now. Okay. And John, make sure you stay muted, John Revit. Okay. So everybody stay muted so we don't get the noise. And let me see. Okay, Shake, I'm gonna try to do this now. Advanced computer audio, share. I'm gonna click on this. Okay, I'm seeing multiple things, Shake. So which one am I clicking on? Like all of your stuff is here, not just the one. Are you there, Shake? You're muted. Shake, you're muted.
All right. So if you go down the Vimeo and it says there's one that's down.
You know, Shake, it's going to be much easier to share the song. Can you just play the song?
I can just play the song.
Great. So put the link to the song in the chat.
Okay, the link to the song. All right, let's just
Everybody, you can save the chat and you can get the link.
Because the thing is, like I said, is to see it against the visuals. It was what impacts it. That's why I'm
difficult.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, stop. Okay, so now I'm sorry. What am I doing now? I'm just gonna get the song. Just get the song. All right, get the song. Let's get so go into the disco then?
Yeah, you can put the disco link. That's fine.
Okay, let's do that.
And the video is in the chat, everybody, should you want to watch it later.
Okay, and I'm going to put that in here.
Tony, we mentioned what theater it's in. It's right above your chat, in the chat. the landmark Westwood,
Okay.
November 6th.
Where's the participants? Where's the chat? Oh, man, I hate all this.
Yes, there are many videos, but she's going to tell you the name of the song. So if you can search for it.
All right. So like I'm looking at, where's the chat? The chat's gone.
Go on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Chat. Click on chat.
I'm looking at the chat's not there.
Bottom. It's there. Go on the bottom of the screen.
Show chat previews.
Where it says video, audio, video, participants.
There we go.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
I'm
And
sorry.
you're sending it direct to me, so that's okay. All right, I'm going to click on it, everybody, and now I'm going to try to play it. So you'll let me know if you don't hear it. It's called For Your Love.
For your love, there is nothing that I wouldn't do to have just one more night with you, to be as we were long ago. For your love, I have crossed the sacred and profane. I can't stop calling out your name at night alone. I want us to go back to who we were before, but time laughs at my dreams. Fate has locked the door. If love can conquer all, then where's my victory? If you are really gone, there's nothing left for me. Nothing left for me. For your love, I would make a holy sacrifice, burn in fire or freeze my soul in ice, to feel your touch one more time. For your love, I would turn the ocean into sand, if it meant that you would kiss my hand. I want us to go back to who we were before, but time laughs at my dreams. Fate has locked the door. If love can conquer all, then where's my victory? If you are really gone, there's nothing left for me. Nothing left for me. To who we were before, but time laughs at my dreams. Fate has locked the door. If love can conquer all, then where's my victory? You are really gone. There's nothing left for me. Nothing left for me. Nothing left for me.
Bravo! Yay, so beautiful. So it's such a beautiful song. Yes, in all
And
of honest.
And the other thing too is you see, um, they're going to do another period piece, and she already has said to me they're probably going to want to use that song again. So whenever you could, yeah, whenever you can write something to the piece and really get all that information, because like I said,
And you own the publishing, right?
I own the publishing, I own the whole kit and
Negotiated
caboodle.
that. So
But
that is really amazing. Like Sherry was asking before, so you can negotiate sync agreements, right?
right,
So yes, we can negotiate. A lot of times we can't. A lot of times they tell us this is how much money they have, this is the parameters, blah, blah, blah. But Shake has also learned from taking the course all about music publishing and the importance of the rights that we have. And because you have no fear, which is also fabulous about Shake. She has no fear. She went and negotiated to keep her publishing rights because normally they would have taken them. But what would they have done with them? They don't know. They don't know. They're a film company who doesn't know what to do with publishing. So what would be the point anyway, right? So I'm so proud of you, Shake, for not being afraid to try and negotiate. Yes. Very
well,
good.
even for this Christmas thing, like I said, he was like first going in, the publishing. I'm going, no, these are my 4 best songs. I'm not giving you anything. I kind of educated him. I said, look, we're going to do this non-exclusive sync agreement. I'll license you the song in perpetuity. You can use it. I'll give you the instrumentals too, but I keep my publishing. And if he'd said, you have to give me your publishing, I'd have walked away because I knew better.
Yes, you learned, and I'm so proud of you. So before I ask my questions, because I have some, does anybody have any more questions? You can raise your hand and ask Shake directly if you have. So Dennis has a question. So Dennis, please ask Shake. Yes.
Hi, Shakay. First of all, great music. And I could hear the emotion in that roughness of your voice on that high note. But anyway, my quick question is, it sounds like in terms of trying to get your clients' attention and trying to get your songs heard, you're kind of in the position of the Charlie Sheen character from Wall Street, where he has to somehow get Gecko's attention and you have to think of a creative way to make an inroad. So I get all that as far as trying to stay up to date on information about what's going on and who's doing it and trying to think of ways to endear yourself to a potential client. The second thing is the quality of the music. Now, you said you didn't have a lot of music and you had to kind of reinvent some, but in terms of production quality, which Michelle talked about yesterday when we submitted songs for review, you have a producer slash engineer who takes care of all that because, I would prefer to spend more time writing the actual music than worry about the engineering aspect because that's just not my lane. So do you have one person that you have partnered with and stay with, or how did you first set that up when you finished writing and you want it to be the quality it needs to be?
So that's a great question. And you see, I am, because from one of there again, when I see this, it's the people that kind of have the edge are the people these days who have the production chops, right? And to me, it's like, I don't have that. I'm going to give you a song that you can hang anything on it. It's going to hold. I mean, I could sit there and sing that song with nothing on it and it's solid. It's there. I know that. That's because as songwriters, that's what we're supposed to do. But these days, production is so much of it. But what I ended up doing was I ended up coming back to a producer that I had actually met in the 90s. And because I said to my friend, I said, I need somebody. And so I ended up back at Dave Vasquez and at Moonlight. And yes, I go in there and I either give him, me just with an acoustic guitar or whatever, or I'll just sing it a cappella and he fleshes it out. So for me, that's what I do. Like you, I don't want to learn. I still think I need to learn. I'm probably about the only person I know that doesn't have a studio in their house that's recording stuff, but I just choose to do it old school this way. So yes, I go to this one person. He's amazing. And he does that for me. And then if I need to bring someone in, like the violinist that you heard, I actually had somebody else to be the violinist. But here's another thing that's notorious about these film people. They wait to the last minute. So I had said, I want to put a violin. Let me know if the length is fine for the instrumental. And they didn't say anything to me. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, we're ready to put the song in. Where's the violin? So the person that was supposed to do the violin was busy. So they gave me this other guy. He turned it around in 24 hours and we put it in the track and threw it in. But like I said, that's all because me working with a producer.
Right. But
And
let me say this, Dennis. Let me just interject one thing. Shake is working with a producer, but she has good ears. She has trained her ears to be able to hear. And that is key because we could hire a producer and work with a producer, but if we're not savvy enough to understand and hear, the producer could do a bad job and we might not notice. So that is really important to get the opinions and outside ears of people if one doesn't have the best ears so that
right.
you can hear. Yes.
Because the song I submitted yesterday was done by a professional producer who's worked with top artists and has won Grammys. But according to you, you're saying that the mix and the quality wasn't good. So like I said, you spend the money and you get the work done, but then it turns out, well, did I have the right person?
Oh, and I have something I have to add in for that, something that happened to me recently. So Dave is excellent at certain things, but when it comes to something that's going to sound more contemporary and got that high, nice end sheen, it doesn't happen. So I had a song called Hey Hey, and I go, the song's good, but the mix it's no good. I ended up going to a professional guy. I ended up spending a chunk of money, but that song ended up sounding good enough that it's with Dolly Parton's producer right now. So sometimes, like she says, you have to have good ears. And sometimes you can have somebody with all the names in the world, but they don't have the right touch for it, or they don't have the right touch for this song. If Dave mixes my Christmas stuff, he does a beautiful job. But if I have something that needs to sound a certain way, like I said, I couldn't say why it wasn't working. All I knew was it wasn't working. So my friend said, look, you send it to this guy, it'll work. That's what I did. Sometimes that's what you have to do.
Right. Exactly. It's all individual. So anybody else with questions before I ask mine? Anybody for Shake? Yeah, John, go ahead.
Yeah, more observation slash question, and that is, Shake, earlier you mentioned about being in the trenches, and for me, that's just the attitude. Like, what is my attitude about being in the trenches? And that's kind of really all I want to mention is, am I comfortable being in the trenches? And do I accept being there? Um, and and that's probably all I can say right now. Just more of a state of mind. So appreciate that. Thank you.
But it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's like it's stupid. It's hard. It just is. So once you say, okay, it's not me personally, this is the nature of the beast. This is what it is. So yeah.
Right. And it doesn't get easier. So that is so true. I mean, I've been in the trenches 45 years as a professional, and it doesn't get easier. We're always in the trenches. So it has to be something we're comfortable with to really, make a go of this commercially. We can always make our music for our own souls. It doesn't make it less valid because it doesn't make money. But to work in this business to make money and do this commercially, yes, we are always in the trenches. Yeah, that's the place songwriters and producers and music creators are. So, okay, so I'm going to jump in, Shake. I have a few questions. So, first of all, if you're still using it, show us the 3-ring binder where you take your notes. Show us how you take your notes, because everybody, you don't have to be super computerized. And I know people here are not tech savvy. I am not myself tech savvy. And Shake works this way. This is really special.
Well, I know I actually don't have a 3-ring binder anymore.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No,
What are you?
everything's in the
What are you?
computer. Everything's in the computer, but I've got like copious notes. So it's like I've got 3
Oh, are
lists.
you typing notes now, not
Yeah.
handwriting them?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. She was originally handwriting.
No, I'll scrawl and then I'll type it in. Yeah.
Right, but you're still printing them out and holding them, and they feel better when you hold them and all of that.
No, I did that for this because these are the notes for your class.
Oh,
But
great.
yeah, but I have everybody's got a number, and I've got a list that ongoing things to track, and then things that were completed I didn't get, but there we go. Because
Right,
sometimes
well,
you go
that's
back.
awesome. So she has a filing system. So, but originally it was in a binder. So that's
was.
really cool. And now I'm going to ask you, how are you handling your registrations? Have you learned well how to register everywhere and get all your songs and all your ducks in a row and all your work for hire paperwork? Have you been doing all that?
Yeah, the work for hire paperwork I am on, like, you know, in fact, I remember John and I having that conversation, and I could tell he wasn't comfortable. And I kept saying, look, this is important. You need to have this in place so that nobody can come back on you later. So that I've been good about. Registering with ASCAP, and I mean with BMI, I've been good about. Finally getting a few things moved over from ASCAP to BMI. It's taken a little while. That's still a little bit in arrears, but otherwise, yeah. I mean, I know the minute I get a new song, it goes in, I'm solid. So yeah.
Good. Okay. Very, very good. And are you releasing your music or are you not?
I mean, I did a thing on TuneCore where I put a whole bunch of my Christmas stuff but I don't really have any attachment to that because I'm not trying to be an artist. Pardon me?
You did release it. So did you then join the MLC and take care of that?
I am joined in the MLC, but I don't have all the song titles in, and that's bad on me.
Yes. Okay. So we need to do that. But yeah, so you need to do that. And did you join Music Reports, MRI?
I did not.
Okay, so that's essential, everybody, especially if you're releasing music, especially if you work with things like TikTok. So that's how you get paid. So Music Reports, which is abbreviated as MRI, which we did learn in the course. And we want to make sure that we register our music there too. So next question for you is foreign. So you have now met this person from with Korea, a Korean company. You've now met this person in South Africa. Are you actively looking for foreign projects?
You know, not necessarily, but I mean, I've definitely, like, when I see stuff from the UK and Europe, I definitely, put myself in there. The Korean thing, that was a guy that I met, and he's not Korean, but the company's Korean. And then the South African, that's a guy I met at the PMC. So I wasn't necessarily looking for that, but so that's what I'm
But that's fantastic because there are so many opportunities outside of the US that we can seize and capture. So that is so much what I teach as well. And I've done so much foreign, and it's really great that Shake is open to doing that and meeting people outside of the US. So Shake, how do you organize your day between your pitching and your music creating and your studio and your live performances and your other work? How do you organize? What do you have a typical day, or is every day different, or how are you organizing all of this?
Well, I still have my side jobs, and a lot of that is I play for retirement homes. And most of the time, those gigs are either in the morning or in the afternoon. So I arrange around them. I am not doing as much creative right now and for the last 6 months as I would like. Money's been tight, and then I get so much in my admin head that it's hard for me to switch gears. So right now I feel I'm kind of in arrears creatively. I haven't quite figured out how to switch gears well, because for me to be creative, usually I have to be a bum, right? So if there's an occasional Saturday and I set that aside for creative, that's better, but I'm still working on that. Usually my day is I definitely get up. If I need to make European calls or earlier calls, I'm usually on the phone by 7:30 or 8. Otherwise, I'm on the phone by 9. and I'm constantly doing research. So it never ends. So yeah, a
And
lot of it's admin these.
okay,
Yeah.
so that's great. Now, are you only getting on the telephone or are you emailing making cold email pitches as well?
I will do a cold email pitch. Number one, if I can't get a hold of anybody at all. Or the other thing I'll do is I will leave a message for somebody that, hey, I see that you've got this in post. I do one-stop licensing of my Christmas songs. I'm going to send you my 4 most popular songs to blah, blah, blah email that I have. So I will do that as well.
Okay, great. So Shake predominantly likes to make cold calls on the phone. That is very rare, very odd, but I do believe that's part of why she is succeeding is because people aren't used to getting phone calls anymore and she endears herself to them. So if any of you here are good on the telephone, then try that way. Me personally, I hate the phone. I don't even have a smartphone. And, I talk to my 92-year-old dad on the phone and my husband who insists that I answer it. But other than that, I don't talk to anybody on the phone, right? I mean, I have this thing and most of the time I can't even find it. So, but if you can stomach the telephone, and of course, when I started out, there was no computer and there were no emails. And I made phone calls like Shake. I would get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and I would call Europe. And I did a lot of work with Europe and I would make phone calls. So if you can make phone calls, call people and try to get them to engage with you. It is very effective. So I like that. Now, you were just saying you're writing less, but let's say if we look at an average, how many songs a month are you writing?
Well, the last couple of months, I haven't written. Well, no, I've finished maybe one a month I've been finishing.
Okay, and do you record them right away when you finish them, or how does that work?
Well, Dave was gone for a while, but he's back. So I'm going in November 1st, and I'm going to be recording a new one and then mixing one we already have.
Great. And you attend the sessions, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, now I think that's key because a lot of us farm out our songs to producers and we don't attend the sessions. And I say at least attend the session via Zoom, at least be present, because if not, it's hard to retain your own vision for the music. So I am the producer, but I hire musicians and I'm always there. I hire musicians sometimes who are not local to me and can't come to my studio. And so I get on a Zoom while they're recording so I can direct them. And even if they're producing and you're not, you can still be there to get your vision because Shake has clear vision. And that's really important too, right? To have examples of this types of music we want, a song that you say, I love this song. How can we incorporate ideas of this to mine? So I do like that you participate, Shake, and I think that's key. Now, let's say you need singers. I know you found Leah. Is it word of mouth? Like, do you do what I do? And sometimes I put an ad on Facebook and say, I need a singer. There's pay. It's work for hire. I need a singer like this because even though I have an arsenal of singers that I hire, sometimes I don't have the right one and I need to find somebody. So Shake, what are you doing to find your singers?
Well,
And you're not the singer.
yeah, well, okay, so one of the last major things that I did record was a song for a Mario Van Peebles film. So the producer loved me, sent me the script, sent me the book, and I wrote a song called The Price for Freedom, which is also the name of the movie. And I needed a super kick-ass R&B singer, so I actually met Eric Floyd through John, and so I called Eric, and then he said, well, gave me a couple names. I went and listened, and I said, yeah, this one. And song came out great. And the producer is so old school. He was like, you got to put it on a CD for me. So I sit there going, I know I did this. I know I nailed it. She's amazing. She did it. But now it looks like the movie's run out of money. So I might have done that song, but it'll still work somewhere else. But I'm always when I know I need a song, it's like you said, word of mouth, put it out there. And I've done the same thing on Facebook too. Said I need this.
Great. So, there's always ways for us to find our musicians and producers and singers. We can ask our friends, we can post about it. So that's really good. And then, just for a plug for the course, has the course paid for itself?
Oh yeah, no, I've definitely made my money back on the course. I probably made my money back first year and a half, made my money back. And like I said, the main thing is all these cool things that are happening right now, like, because even if it's a struggle with the money, sometimes it's like it's so rewarding to see your songs in something. Like there's a movie called Holiday for Hire. It's on Amazon. You can go see that. All the songs in that movie are mine. And
Um,
and I sat there and watched that, and I'm like, wow, wow, wow. It's like, it's a thrill. It's a real thrill.
see, yeah, that is, and that's priceless, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do this because we want our babies to go out there. And I got to tell one quick story that's going to really make you laugh, Michelle. When I got my first placement, which was, hey, lifetime opening credits, he played practically the whole song. And I said to Justin Wild, who was in the business for years, I said, so that's it, right? Now that I have that placement, everybody's going to call me. He goes, nobody's going to call you. So that was too the reality of, wait, haven't I arrived? No, you never arrived.
Yeah, you never arrive. See,
Yeah,
that's
right.
right. I think when people are looking for that, then they shouldn't be in this business, because even people have said, "Oh, did the Emmy change your life?" No, I've had a few of them. No, no, nothing. No, the gold record. No, the hit song. No, nothing, nothing. You're only as good as what you've done next, and so none of it changes your life. You just keep plugging away back, as John was saying, in the trenches, and that's what we're up against. So we have to have the stomach for that. We have to have the love and the passion in our own hearts, right? And
Mm.
we and the education, though, is key, right? Shake woke up and she decided, I'm going to get educated.
Yeah.
Yes, because she'd been floundering like everybody. So I think this is key, and it's so cool that we have the opportunity now, right, to do this, because there were no Zooms like this educating anybody. This didn't exist. And as I always say, like back in the day, people didn't want to help you.
That's huge. Nobody was going to help you do anything. And right now it's a wild, wild west. Nobody really knows. They really don't.
Yeah, right. Nobody knows. So, but it's all about the passion. So anybody else have any more questions for Shake or for me today? Shake, thank you for your time. You are amazing. You are my star. I'm so proud of you. Every day she's just a house of fire writing me, I got this. Can you read this contract? I got this. And she's even turning people on to me going, this isn't really good music for me. Do you have stuff like this? I mean, that's an amazing amount of work, right? But that's an amazing amount uh, of opportunity coming your way. So it just shows us there's a lot of opportunity. Yeah, Shake, you're amazing. So anybody more questions? You have her, you have me before we go. Take advantage maybe. And we will have a Q&A tomorrow. There'll be one more. So feel free to digest things. Jerome, question. Yes, I did do your song, by the way. I hope you got it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Shake, can we connect with you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn, but generally I don't really hang out there very much. So you can do that. Or if you want to do the friend thing on Facebook, just say, hey, I was in Michelle's class, and do it that way. I just don't. LinkedIn is one of those things that I know some people, including Michelle, have done really well with. Somehow it bothers me. I don't like it. I don't seem to get that many results. So I'm not on there very much.
Oh yeah, I love it. I get work all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got to get more hip to that, because now it's sort of like, well, are you on a paid thing, or
Oh,
just
I
send
did the
messages?
free. I did the paid and it didn't help at all. Yeah, I did the upgrade to premium and it didn't make a difference at all. I
Because now whenever I try to send somebody a message, they're always like, "Oh no, you need to upgrade."
Well, you get a certain amount, but even when you upgrade, you
Uh-huh.
still only get a few.
Okay.
So you get a few a month, and that's why I upgraded, thinking, oh, I could just message people cold, but nope, they still cut it off after a while. So you just have to pick and choose and just send a connect. And once you connect, people do connect, then you can write them freely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love LinkedIn.
yeah, it's good for research on companies, and the companies will list a lot. Sometimes they'll list their employees, which I know
Oh yeah.
that's the thing for Michelle is really big on trying to find somebody to connect with and stuff like that. The problem I have with it, the biggest problem I have with it is I got so many people on my connect list that when I go to my individual feed, if I wanted to read everything, it would take me hours, and I just don't have that much time in the day.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And
but I would use it more for individual direct discussion, not just reading the feed.
but I've found quite a few people on there, and I connect with all my library people on there as much as possible. So that's something that I keep up with. Check, thank you so much for your time today. You were terrific. The only other thing I might ask is for those of us introverts that just are not really interesting conversationalists, any tips for helping when we're meeting in person and trying to get together with somebody without being I am a musician, I have music, you want some, but more personal.
Well, you always make the conversation about the other person, not yourself. Like, even if you just walk up to somebody at a film festival and say, "Oh my God, look at that beard. Could you be Santa Claus? I mean, really?" And then, ha ha ha, on your side, start talking. That's just the main thing, is to always come on as just a real, regular person. And then as they're talking, when you get them talking about themselves, usually, not always, they'll stop and say, "Well, what do you do?" Then you can say, "Da da 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 da. I saw your movie," or "I this or that." It's always about getting the other person to talk, whatever it's going to take. And like, a compliment's always the best.
Exactly. And it's the same when you're emailing. It's always, like we were talking about all week, it's always about talking about them. It's always about addressing them. So when you meet them in person, same thing, right? So yeah, you want to get them to talk about them. It's never good if we keep rambling on about ourselves too much. Yeah. But you can do it. And also, I'm pretty introverted, even though it doesn't seem like it. I mean, I go to almost nothing live in person, and I I rarely in fact go to a party or any kind of schmooze, even if I'm winning something. So I prefer email. It works great. You can do it directly, a LinkedIn message, a Facebook message. And Jerome, if you really can't stomach that kind of live situation, don't do it.
Right.
There are ways around it. I connect with so many people just directly, and he on a visual on a Zoom or something, or an email. Know what I mean? Yeah. So Carrie, did you have a question?
Yes, it's kind of, she already checked. Chakay, is that, am I saying that right?
Okay. That's fine. You're doing great.
You mentioned earlier when you had talking about I had this in my head, that's gonna be relaxed. um when you're talking about the different people who mix or master for you, because I'm in the situation where I got these strings and sounded really great, and I went to my one guy who does it all the time. He says, "No, I've got multiple projects. I can't do it right now." So I was a little bummed, but not too much. But now my question is more like, okay, for this type of music, do I go back to the guy who made it because he sounds pretty good, or should I find somebody else? So does it depend on the style?
I think a lot of it is it's trial and error. I mean, I've spent good money after bad more times than once. But like I said, I know I might try, like, this next song I'm going to mix. The guy that did Hey Hey, he's great, but he's $500. So I'm running into a few other people that are also mixing, mastering people for like half or whatever. So I may try one of them first before I go back to him, if I go back to him. So that's just it. If you go online, there are so many people that do mixing, mastering, whatever, and competitive pricing and stuff. So some of it is you kind of have to bump your head, and try. But
Exactly. Yeah, that meets
yeah.
I agree. I agree. When I hire musicians, it's the same way. Carrie, you just have to do some research and ask friends, ask people like here who they work with.
So, like I said, level 77, I did some songs for them. And that guy, Jason, he said, Bradley's the guy. It's going to cost $500. It's going to sound amazing. And I said, okay. So it sounds, like I said, I consider that $500 well spent because the song would not have gotten to where it got without it.
That's great. Would you be willing to share that information with Carrie so
Oh,
that
sure.
yeah. I'm sure Bradley wants more work, so that's great.
I mean, I'm an introvert too, but I've learned I just need to kind of sometimes try to push past that. Like today, like okay, just ask your question. I don't know, and it's been great because I've been thinking. I guess my thinking is like kind of like you sharing. I went back to this one lady, Kathy, someone who's in jazz, because I liked the way her sound was on her music. So I'm trying to get it that professional sound I want for it does better.
Well, and
it's
like I said,
imperative.
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say it's imperative that everything sounds professional and fabulous. It can't sound almost there because that's not what the market wants. Everything has to be master quality. So sometimes, we have to invest in ourselves and spend the money. If we don't invest in ourselves and spend money in this business, sadly, we're not going to get ahead. I mean, all the money I make goes back to my little recording habit. I mean, that's just the nature of this business. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go on, Chucky. What were you going to
Oh,
say?
no, I just did that. Like I said, it's trial and error. And the other thing that I have to get better at is playing well with others. So, like, I got really upset because there was somebody that's like the king of Christmas. This guy's got hundreds of Christmas songs, right? And all of a sudden, I see him showing up in I'll call it my little territory, right? I'm going, well, why is he in there? And I go, yeah, I can't compete against him, da 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 da. But I said, yeah, Shake, but then there's this other movie. He got a song in that movie. You got two. So, but I know that my production quality is not as amazing as his. It's still good, it's solid, but I'm going to actually see him at the awards ceremony. And so part of me is going, you know what? If you can't beat him, join him. Because a lot of people for sync are grouping together, working together. You've got one guy that's good with this, somebody's good with that. Like I said, I myself need to do more of that. But you just be open to aligning up with other people because most people, I mean, Michelle, you're in and of yourself, self-contained, but most people are not. And yeah, that's just a lot of what's going on right now. I see a lot of people and they're grouping together and then they're all moving towards success together.
Exactly. And to Sherry, you had a question?
Yes, I did. I'm still stuck on that beautiful song that you played, and
Oh,
I'm
thank you.
curious. Yeah, I'm sure I'm far from being handed a script and being told to write something, but I'm very curious. When you got that script, obviously, I heard you talk about how you isolated this one part and that really summarized the relationship and that character, and you knew that character. But in that writing process, did you how much of yourself and your own experiences, even just from that empathetic space of connecting with the character in the story, how much of your own experiences and emotions do you put into the song? Because the performance sounds like you were right in that moment. I mean, it's just like riveting. So I'm curious about that part of your process.
And I hadn't had my coffee and I just big one thing, and this is going to sound funny, but it's true. I'm so used to having to pay for sessions that when I go into a session to sing, I'm ready. If I don't do it 80% in the first four takes, shoves, send me home. But I think I really was channeling the character. If you see the movie, I was channeling her always, even when I was singing it there. So I would say to a certain extent, I'm in there, you know, because like I said, pain, angst, yeah. Coffee for One's one of my biggest songs, right? But I have to say, most of me just let the character take over. Yeah. It's like like I said, I was so immersed in her. I just go Millicent, and it's just like I just let her go through.
Cool. Thank you. You're muted, Michelle.
Thank you. You never know when it's going to happen because it happened to Sake early on. It's not like she was working for 20 years and then she got asked to make a custom song. You know, it happened pretty early.
Okay. Thank you for that too.
Yeah, you know, so we need to be prepared.
Well, and if you do get that opportunity, like I said, you just immerse yourself. You become, you know, that character was what was coming through. It wasn't me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's so beautiful, Sake. Yeah.
Even if it wasn't auto-tuned.
Oh, so pitchy, it's painful.
That's
Sorry.
that's a thing too, is for what you do, it wouldn't fly.
No, but it wouldn't fly for you, I don't believe either, if you had pitched the song for something. That's because you created it for the project with the emotion and you were already connected. Yeah. That is, in my humble opinion. I think that if that would have been a hard pitch to use it the way it was, but that's just me. You know, I wouldn't recommend for us to pitch music that isn't fully produced and pitched and all of that. But again, you know, I had 2 songs in High School Musical, the musical, because it was a karaoke scene and they wanted the vocals to sound bad. And so I sent them 2 scratch vocals of me, the rough vocals like you did, Shake, and they used them, you know. But yours, it sounds good. I mean, it sounds emotional and it's impactful. Mine actually did sound bad, and they loved that for the scene because the girl is rocking out and she's singing and lip syncing to it, and it sounds terrible, right? So, you know, the track sounded great. The track was ready, but the vocals were awful, and so we never know what we might get placed. You know, I never would have pitched those versions of the songs had I not been connected and not been asked. I would have submitted the finished versions of the songs with the singers that I hired that were all tuned and beautiful.
Well, and that's another thing too, is the right casting, because all my Christmas songs that have been placed, except for one version I did of Jingle Bells, all hired singers. Because I don't have that kind of girly, high, happy, happy, joy, joy voice.
That's fine. Your voice is awesome. So, it doesn't matter. But anyway, are we does that help? And Chuck, hey, do you want to put Bradley's name in the chat by any chance?
Sure. Hold on, let me
Get him some work.
I'm gonna go in and get okay. Be on. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the chat.
Thank you. Yeah. So, make sure if you do contact this person, that you tell them that Shake referred you.
Okay, now where did the chat go? Show chat previews chat. Okay, here we go. Bradley.
You are welcome, Jerry B. Thank you for everything you do. It's really awesome. And Dennis, did I see your hand raised that you had a question? No, you're good. Okay, awesome. Awesome.
There we go.
And tomorrow, if you all return, I'm going to discuss a bit about metadata. And if anybody wants a metadata check, feel free to bring a link to an MP3 where you think you've housed and put in your metadata correctly, and I will check it.
So
And
I also
when
want
we
to say,
say that again, Chuck?
I'm going to probably be sitting in on some of your classes here because I need review. So I just want to say again, with Michelle, if you need to like review or do whatever, I'm going to be able to do that.
Good.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
no, because
And my
I,
students are always allowed, always, to everything. I don't charge them again.
right.
So if you do take the course, just know that like Shake can come to the new course, and all my students can interact, and there's a private Facebook group, and they all can talk to each other and all that kind of stuff. So I don't like discard people like a hot potato. My mission is that we build this great community and that we all keep learning. And there's a lot of information. So review is really good. And Shake, thank you. So Shake has put Bradley's information in the chat for the mixing and mastering. And don't forget, if you want to save the chat, the little three dots that say Michelle Maslin's personal meeting, and you can click on the three dots and it says save chat to save the chat. You have to keep saving it though till the end, or else you only get up to where you saved it, which is irritating, but that's how it works. And if nothing else, we'll adjourn. But thank you, Shake, and thanks everybody for coming. I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you.
And I just want to leave you guys with one thing is I know it's hard, but you can do it. You can do it. So
Oh yeah, because I mean, look, Shake is doing it. I'm doing it. We're just regular people who make music. It's not like we're better than everybody else. We're just good at research and networking, and we've learned about the business. And it's so important to understand all the publishing information, because if we don't understand that and we don't have people that can help us with that, then we can't pitch the songs. When Shake talks to these music supervisors and sync agents and music libraries and directors and producers and showrunners and everybody that she connects with, she understands the lingo and she's able to communicate with them. And she has all her songs with all the rights, with their ducks in a row and all the paperwork. And she's learned how to do this and learned how to make a discussion. And so that is so important. If not, if we're just grasping little straws here and little information there and there, the music supervisor is going to ask us a question and we're not going to be able to answer it, and they're going to get rid of us because they're afraid they're going to get fired. We're there to serve them, and we have to understand the rights and how they work. If we don't, then they're not going to use our music, but they're using Shake's music because she understands the lingo completely. She has learned it, and she is able to have the discussion, make them feel confident that all the ducks are in a row, that nothing is going to go wrong with licensing that music, right? And sometimes she comes to me with a question because I'm here to answer and help. And if there's an issue, but sometimes you just handle it perfectly on your own. So you have learned really well.
well, and I still like certain things fall through the slats. So that's why I said I feel like a review is going to be good for me that, you know.
Oh yeah, and plus there's new things these days. There's new platforms every day. There's new fees. There's new platforms to register our songs. The mechanical rate has changed. I mean, many things have changed. So yeah, we're going to be discussing the new info. So
Because the way you got to look at it is like I said, it's a lot. There's going to be times you're really overwhelmed. I just remember sometimes after class, I was going, what happened? Just what just happened? But as you do it and go through it, it's empowering. That's really what it is. You got to look. The way I look at it is, it's like I go, okay, I got to be a warrior for my songs. I may not have the best this, I may not have the best that. I may not have like the guy, like I said, the guy that's got hundreds of Christmas songs, right? But
oh, Justin, yeah.
yeah, but I've got what I've got, and there'll be the main thing is there will be a place for you in what you do. It's just
Yeah,
finding.
having a niche is fantastic, right? Like Dennis, you like to make gospel music. I mean, Laura, who's here, she does this amazing bluesy, rocky kind of stuff. I mean, if we have a wheelhouse like that, that's really great. I mean, it's almost harder for me because I do everything and have so many genres and it's all over the place. But sometimes if we have a niche, it's really helpful to
Mhm.
to place our music and get known for these things, right? Now so many people know Sake makes these great Christmas songs, and you make other songs too, but makes these great Christmas songs, and they'll tell their friends, oh man, if you need Christmas songs, you have to go meet Sake because she has amazing Christmas songs. So a lot of it is word of mouth too. Yeah. Okay. Everybody's very quiet. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Those of you who can make it, same bat time, same bat station, if you're old and know what that means. And so I look forward to it. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Shake.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Bye.